Okay, now let's go on to question 3 over here. So it says state the 3 rules giving a diagram H for constructing a ray diagram for a convex lens. So there are 3 rules that you need to remember whenever you are drawing a ray diagram for lens. So all these can be found on page 196. First rule is an incident ray through the optical center passes without bending. So imagine if I have a point over here, light ray is coming from here. Okay, so what happens is that when the light ray reaches the optical center, normally because this is a lens, the light will get refracted. But because it goes through the optical center, it doesn't bend, it just goes straight through. Okay? Now, what if I change the angle slightly? So I use a different color now. So imagine what if the light ray is from here? Okay, imagine the light ray is from here. I let it cut through the optical, it goes to the optical center. Now, because it passes through the optical center, it will go straight through. Now, these two light rays are from the top. Okay, what if it is from the bottom? Okay, let's try if it is from the bottom. Maybe now I use purple. Okay, maybe the light ray starts from here. Okay, when the light ray goes towards the optical center, what's going to happen next is it will go straight through. Okay, so you can see here rule number 1 actually says that an incident ray, okay, passing through the optical center, it will go straight through without bending. This is an important rule that I need you to remember. Okay, next one. Rule number 2. An incident ray parallel to the principal axis is refracted to pass through the focal point. So parallel to the principal axis. So one example of a ray is like this. So just going to draw a ray. Okay, so can you see this light ray is parallel to the principal axis? Okay, once it passes through the lens, what did they say? It is refracted to pass through the focal point. So this light ray will actually pass through the focal point. Now, what if I draw the light ray slightly lower? So imagine now the light ray is over here. Okay, so let me draw this over here. Okay, like this. What's gonna happen is we'll follow the same principle. So it will cut through the focal point and it will go straight through. So it's refracted to cut through the focal point. Now I say, what if it is from the bottom? Okay, let's try from the bottom. So light ray parallel to the principal axis. And light ray parallel to the principal axis. Let me draw it like this. Okay, what's going to happen? We say that it will be refracted to pass through the focal point. So it will be like this. So rule number 2, another important rule. Okay, please take note and remember it. Last one, okay, the last rule we seldom use it, but it's still an important rule that can be applicable at times. Okay, this one says an incident ray passing through the focal point F is refracted parallel to the principal axis. So if it passes through the focal point first, okay, let's use the focal point first, it will be refracted parallel to the principal axis. So in this case here, I do not want to draw the light ray going from the right to the left. I always want to draw it from right to left, from left to right. So first thing I measure the focal point. Uh, okay, so first we duplicate. Okay, we know that the focal point is actually on both sides. Okay, for the focal point is actually on both sides of the lens. So do take note, focal point is actually always on both sides of the lens. It need not always be on one side. Okay, it's actually on both sides. But it's just depending on where your light ray is coming from. So rule number 3 says, an incident ray passing through the focal point first is reflected parallel to the principal axis. So let's draw the first light ray. Okay, so you can see here, it passes through the focal point first. Now, after it passes through the focal point, what's going to happen? The light ray is going to be parallel to the principal axis. I'll say, sure, what if I make the angle a bit steeper? Okay, let's make the angle a bit steeper. So let's draw it like this. So you can see here in this case, this blue color light ray is a bit steeper now, passes through the focal point first. Once it passes through a focal point, let's apply this rule. Because it reaches the lens, it will be parallel to the principal axis. Yeah, for picture, every time from the top go to the bottom. How about if from the bottom first? Okay, so what if it's from the bottom first? So if it's from the bottom first, looks like this. Cuts through the focal point first, then goes to the lens. Applying rule number 3, it will look like this, parallel to the principal axis. So this is the 3 rules. They're going to be very, very useful and very important, especially for your next worksheet. Thank you.